Until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was disgusted with what I saw. So I said, you got to make a change, man.
It's all about fun, laugh, and get through life. That's what
I find you have everything to do. Without him, everything to lose.
Then I'm gonna lay you down, just like the bridge over troubled water.
Hello, and welcome to the show tonight. How's everybody? Let me introduce my co-host, Miss Dr. Vanessa DeDanzing. Hello, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm great.
Are you glad to be home, girl? I know you're glad to be home, right?
Well, it's been a journey. I'll be out of here soon enough, too.
Well, are you ready for some real talk tonight?
I'm ready. It's going to be.
Well, we have a legendary special guest joining us tonight, Mr. Phil Andrews, who's the president of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, Inc. And he is like no other person that you have ever met. And tonight we want to talk to him. Our topic is the falls and rise of our Black businesses and how the pandemic has affected these businesses. And there's no other person to talk to than Mr. Phil Andrews. Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. We're excited to talk to you tonight because with the pandemic happening, everything, businesses have shut down, and some people really have been thriving during the pandemic. It's really amazing how some businesses have still continued to thrive, but then some have really, really been having a hard time. But before we get to the Chamber of Commerce, we want to know about Phil Andrews, because I know, you was a young entrepreneur. So you had your businesses at 25 years old now. Who does that? And how did you do that?
Well, I was working in law enforcement at the time as Rikers Island as a correction officer, and I had read this quote by Percy Sutton. He said, all of my life I've had access to people of ability, but did not have access to capital. I believe anything is possible if one has access to people of ability and capital. So after that quote, I got some people together with some money and ability. And at 25 years old, we helped to build like 10 stores across New York, a franchise from ground up. And we employed many people for many years, and it was called a Haircut Hut. And the business was aesthetic because it had a sign up said value systems determine human possibilities. And it had a hut symbolizing family and community. And it did very well. And it helped skyrocket me to being well known in the community. When you employ a lot of people, that's the greatest love that you can do is you can help people feed their families through employment. So that drove me that I knew I was making a difference. Some people went to school 2 days a week cutting hair, and they got master's degrees. So I look at all of those things, and one of my former employees was my mentee, and he's now, to this day, he's got a barber school and said, if I hadn't worked for you, I wouldn't have this barber school today. So we can make a difference when we employ people. And I always we had business training in the barbershop. That's one of the few barbershops that ever had training. I said, I used to teach them, if you whatever you put in is like the stock exchange. You got to create value by what you do every day, and we could become very valuable. And our goal was to become number one in hair cutting, and that was our goal, to be the best. We didn't strive to be number two.
Mhm. So let's get to the Chamber of Commerce. Like, what is it? What is the role of the Chamber of Commerce? How do you assist businesses?
Well, one of the things that we do is we act as a network for the chamber, and we bring quality resources to the Chamber of Commerce, the small business administration, the small business development centers, and we are to when you go anywhere in the country and you move into any area in the country, the first place people call is the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce is one of the oldest organizations in the country, and it's also in the know. And when people call me, they call me for, oh, I need a black landscaper. I need a CPA. You know, we are that black business directory. So we are, fortunately, we are the 2019 Small Business Champion, not only in our community, but 14 counties in downstate by the federal government awarded us as doing the most for business in all of the 14 counties in downstate. And I'm sure it's the first time that African American have got that distinction. But what we do is we get up every day and we work for the small business owners. We listen to them. We find resources. During this time with the crisis, we was having seminars with the Small Business Administration every week, and we got people that didn't know how to do the applications, because it could be cumbersome sometimes, paperwork for a small business. They don't have no accounting department, they don't have no attorney. So we was that resource to them, and we got quite a few businesses that was able to take advantage of the PPP loans.
That's interesting. I was going to ask about the PPP. Since we have this COVID and this pandemic, and in order to have the economic empowerment, we are seeing a rise in thriving home-based businesses. What kind of increase have you seen in home-based businesses?
Well, I've seen a whole bunch of increase in home-based businesses. A lot of people do not want to go back out in that crowd, and they're reinventing themselves. So I think in crisis, there's an opportunity, and also the fact that we using this digital platform, I think it's becoming part of society. We have Zoom meetings like almost every other day. I think we're reaching more people than we did when we was having physical meetings. So imagine a business now could now meet 1,000 people without putting on any gas in the car, without putting any wear on the car, and possibly even creating a sale. So I think the digital platform is an opportunity to build a larger trade zone. Not to say that we won't get back to like having a meeting, because like the church, they say don't neglect the assembly. So I think also people contact is still important, but in between this, we had some people even said, Phil, now you're doing the digital meetings. We had people come on that never was able to come to a meeting. So I think it's an opportunity for us. I think it's even this platform right here, Keeping It Shannon, can reach more people. It's global. Like you said, there's no limit. I was on a Zoom call with the Jewish community on a panel about Black Lives Matter. They had 1,000 people on the Zoom call. So I think it has a tremendous amount of potential. And years ago, I wrote an article about the digital divide. We just got to get on the highway, right? This is the new information. This is the new information highway. Churches, everything, businesses, we got to get on this highway.
Now, for the Chamber of Commerce, is there a membership, and what type of services do you provide?
Well, what we do is one of the things that we do is we provide access to capital. We bring in government agencies. The last meeting we dealt with leadership DNA. One of our members is a John Maxwell certified. But we know that you could try to build a business all you want, but guess what? People build businesses, and your business cannot grow beyond you. So we have to, people development is the core of any business, because there's going to be a point that you can't get to the next level unless you grow as a human being.
So Phil, let me ask this question here because I mean it's weird how this is happening. When the pandemic struck, everybody was closed down at the beginning, but then people opened. But the ones that did stay open because they considered essential, so people could come and take food out of the restaurants and stuff. But I noticed, because I go, to a lot of businesses, particular restaurants to eat because I like to eat out and stuff. Now, I noticed some of them was just not thriving, and they was like on the very edge of like just shutting down. And then there was some businesses was thriving and didn't miss a beat. So it was like I was like, well, wonder why is that happening then? So what would you say that could be the problem there, that some businesses was having such a hard time and then other businesses, they were still thriving?
Well, one of the things, I'm a student of Wallace Wattles. He had a concept called riches within your reach. There could be 20 businesses in the community. Let's take a deli for example. In any neighborhood, there's tons of delis. Why is one deli thriving and another not? The getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way. You go to a store, you might go to one store 9 times for a Snapple, they don't have it, you never go back. You go to another store, they always have the supply, they always supply demand. Customer service, cleanliness, ordering on time, communicating with their customers. Some restaurants, hey, when I order some restaurant, they have my number in the phone and they say, hey, they mention my name when I make the order. So I think we need to look at how we doing business. And that's what it is. The model of business is when you have a business, when somebody walks into your business, your model should be this area in this space I control. There's no business in the world like that. And I'm going to give you world-class business when you enter through my doors.
I'm glad you said that, Phil, because, I just have to tell you a quick story, right? Because I try to support my businesses and things like that. But there was one particular business that I ordered some food from, right? So we were sitting here waiting for the food. And an hour and a half had passed by, and I kept saying, wow, Lord, that's taking a long time for them to deliver the food. So when I called back there, the lady says to me, oh, we're not delivering. I said, what do you mean you're not delivering? I've been sitting here waiting an hour and a half for my food. So why are you telling me you're not delivering? She said, because it's raining outside and it was raining too hard for the guy to come out. I said, so why didn't you call me back to tell me you wasn't going to order the food because you had the number in when I called? And then I said, that's not how you do business, So then she started getting smart with me over the phone. And I said, and on top of it, you're going to get smart with me on the phone when I'm a customer who put in an order to you an hour and a half ago. I called to find out where my food is. Rather than you talking nice to me, trying to make it up, now you getting nasty with me on top of it? I mean, what kind of service is this? And then you want to know why we don't support you.
Exactly.
Well, when I was in the barbershop and beauty salon, I was the owner of the business, and I had a salon and a barbershop. And on Sundays, I had brunch for the ladies, and I would hang their coats up as the owner. So you really have to value your customer, the long-term value of a customer. I don't think you're a customer if you go to a place one time and don't come back. A customer to me is someone that stays with you years and years and years, and your business is consistent. And it takes you a lot of money to spend to get the customer. So you need to run your business in a way that you keep the customer, because advertising is very expensive. And that's bad word of mouth, what you just said for that business. And I don't think that business is going to grow.
And this is a business that I cater to, because what I did was I went in so she would know who I was when she see my face and everything. And I said to the owner, I said, this is not feasible. I said, because that person of yours at the front is causing you to lose customers, because I would never come in your restaurant again. And I would tell all my friends that I told to come. I'm a word of mouth. I'm your public relations person. If I come to your restaurant and I like your food, I tell all my friends. I tell everybody to go there. You need to go to this restaurant. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do, because I believe in helping each other. That's what I am, a supporter. But when you run a business that people are nasty with you and everything, and then you are not watching the people who are at the front to see how they treat your customers, then there's a problem here, because they can cause you to lose a lot of business when people come in and you get smart with them, and then people don't want to come back again. That's what I find a lot. Then the second one is when I come in there and you don't have what's on the menu. Now, if you don't have potato salad and you're a soul food place, then what kind of soul food place is this don't have potato salad? Now, you know soul food has potato salad, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens. Those are the three things you better have at a soul food restaurant when people come in. And then when you come, oh, we don't have any today, or we didn't make any today. That's not good business. That's not good business.
If you keep good inventory and you keep good track of sales, you should have. If you go a whole year, you should be able to average how much potato salad people buying through your business in a year.
Exactly.
So it's no sense. And then every restaurant supposed to have a little extra or something because food sometimes spoil. There are companies that train New York City small business. They train you in customer service. They got the franchise association. They train you in business. Now, just because you know how to cook good, don't mean you know how to do business good. So we need training and development in the business because a lot of businesses started because they were good at a hobby. But now the first thing I asked them, have you ever took any business training? You wouldn't go to a dentist that never went to dentistry school, would you? Well, businesses need training too.
Absolutely, because the interaction is what's key. Right, like Lyda said, she probably losing money in the business, don't know how she's losing the money, and the person serving, is just causing people just go someplace else.
Yeah, well, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
We're back. You heard my little co-host here, Miss Bree McCoy, says, we're back. Now, before we went to break, Phil, you were talking about training businesses. And I really think that's important that we train businesses and show them how that they're supposed to treat their customers. But now I would like to bring on one of our business owners who owns her own business. She's one of the co-owners of her business, the Southern Comfort, which is a soul food restaurant here in Brooklyn on Marcus Garvey. So we want to welcome Miss Shawana McDonald to the show. Shawana, you there? Hi, how are you? Yeah, Shawana, we know you're the owner of the Southern Comfort, which is soul food too, but it has a different flair to it. So you want to tell us about your restaurant?
Yes. The Southern Comfort, we're located in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. It is owned by myself and my husband, Kirk McDonald. We're basically, our food, we call it Cara Fusion. So we're soul food. Of course, we have the potato salad, the candied yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, fried chicken. But we also, on occasion, you may come in and have oxtails. You may come in and have jerk chicken. You may come in and have fried plantains one day. It really depends. So we have all of the soul food staples, but I also wanted to pay homage to my culture. My dad is from Jamaica. My mom is from the South. And my husband is from Guyana. So you really do taste all of those flavors in the food.
Well, before I ask you how the pandemic, the codfish fritters, they are delicious.
Thank you.
Those are the die for. You have to go in there and taste those. So, Shawana, tell us, how did the pandemic affect your business? Did you have any struggle?
The pandemic was, I don't want to say detrimental because by the grace of God, we are still open. But the pandemic was, it made our business take a hard blow. We didn't close because we thought that if we would have closed, we wouldn't be relevant. We literally just opened up as a restaurant maybe in October. So we couldn't close our doors because of the pandemic. So we stayed open. But what we did do, we let go of all of our staff temporarily until we were able to figure out what our next steps were going to be. And literally, my husband Kirk and I worked every day just to stay relevant in the community. Um, as far as inventory, that's where a lot of our blow came from because places like the Restaurant Depot, Costco, and BJ's, Jetro, where we normally get our supplies from, a lot of things, even something as simple as potatoes, one day we will go and they just wouldn't have it. One day we went and they didn't have chicken. One day we went and they didn't have ribs. So a lot of things that we were used to purchasing, I guess like we took for granted, oh, we could just go and, we run out of something, we could just get it. That didn't happen. And the thing that's scaring us is we're starting to see that pattern happen now. So I'm hoping something is not in the works again in regards to the pandemic, but it was scary. And because we were told during everything, we're not even considered a small business. We're considered a macro business. We don't have a lot of refrigeration space. So we're constantly shopping. So it's not like we can keep a whole lot of inventory because we don't have the space for it. So, it made us minimize our menu a great deal. And it made me become very, very creative with menu options.
Right. But Shawana, did you have the opportunity to submit to, for the PPP and the EIDL?
We've tried and we were unsuccessful. We've tried.
Because there's still funding that's going on for the EIDL, especially if you had employees, you should have been,
Right. We've tried for the
qualified for that.
PPP and the EITL. From the EITL, we did get the $3,000 that I think you just got if you just submitted an application. They gave you like a $300 up front, but then we were told that we didn't qualify for anything.
Phil, so why would some businesses not, which qualified to meet, the money that they were supposed to be giving away? Because I thought the idea was they're supposed to help all small businesses.
Well, some businesses are very small. They may not have had people on the payroll, and that's one of the things that about half of the businesses in America that's owned by blacks only have single owner employee. So some businesses, in particular, you have heavy overhead, restaurants, spoilage, rent, salaries. So to operate a business is very expensive. But there are in the works. There are some organizations trying to raise up of equivalent of $250 million, and we are in talks with those organizations to begin to fuse capital into the businesses. And one of the things too, we have to look at this experience as saying, you know what, we just like you would say, well, bring all the ties into the storehouse that they may be meet. A lot of our businesses have been undercapitalized, and we have to. One of the things the chamber want to do, we want a business like that to be a part of this chamber. We'll come to Brooklyn, and even if we gotta come by there, if she can't fit us all, we come eat. We promote her businesses. We want to market the businesses to help them grow. And I think some of that was also the lack of support for our own businesses that we should really be going out. A small business, I happen to call a restaurant. I can't give the name, but I called the restaurant this week and they said they was doing $1 million. One little, and this place is not that big. So we need to do a better job of supporting our restaurants. Also embracing the online ordering process. That should be a part of it. Digital marketing. Are we talking to our businesses through emails? We have to kind of like change because the world is changing. So even the Chamber of Commerce, we kind of like took a hit at first, but when we embraced the digital, we started bringing in more members than we had. Large corporations start coming, and we having a growth spurt. So I think what we got to do is we got to innovate. And the other thing that we need to do is we need to have a directory. Like I should know about this business if I'm a Chamber of Commerce president. But we haven't had a black business directory in a long time, and we're looking to reestablish that digitally a directory because we can buy. I mean, they don't need. Hey, you can Uber Eat. There's a couple of ways that you can deliver food if you got the money. She can deliver her food all the way to Queens, right? if people got the money, and some people have that money to do that. So I think we have to look at the way we're doing business. We have to innovate and take the lessons. Take the lessons and definitely show up capital. I mean, but I'll say this too about business. Business is always up and down. Being cycler is a part of business because every day is not the same. Every month is not the same. Every year is not the same. But guess what? Like Jim Rome used to say, when it's summer, think about spring. When it's winter, think about summer, right? So we got to always have forward thinking in business. And a business with forward thinking is going to find a way to get through this pandemic and survive on the other end and even come out even better. Exceptional service, training your employees, the highest level. There's a restaurant that I have found in Japan. It's one of the most expensive restaurants in the world. And you got a 6 months waiting list, but the service is so good. But they were meticulous about the taste of everything that went in. They would look at that product like 20, 40, 50 times till we had the right taste and consistency. So this is the other thing. How do we operate something where the whole world will come and say, well, this is the best place in the world, top of the line. Quality is a virtue, I believe, and every business should seek to have quality processes in their business. And quality is going to give you a reward. If you got the best, people are going to come.
Now that's the mouthful you said that, Phil. Because let me tell you, if the food is good, I don't care what's going on. People are going to come to your restaurant or whatever. That's the main thing. Good food and good courtesy towards your customers when they come in. You know, you're not there arguing with the customer if they're asking you about something or saying this is not right or this is not right. Rather than you trying to, resolve what the matter is, you're not even trying to, resolve the matter with the customer. That's another thing. But when you said under capital, do you mean like they just need like another pool of money set aside so when something happened, they have something fall on? I don't. What do you mean by that? The under capital.
Well, businesses are sometimes just like people. If you miss a couple of checks, you may be out of business, right? So I think we need more capital. We need more investment in businesses. Um, because sometimes it's just hard, and particularly if a business is new, you just put so much capital into the business, and now actually it takes you usually like 3 to 5 years before they say the average business even able to get a return. So a lot of our businesses we're undercapitalized from the start, But one of the things I believe that how to capitalize businesses is to create more customers. I don't think no business have too many customers or they couldn't take more customers, right? So we have to find a way to shorten revenue cycles, meaning that you could tell what days when I was in the barbershop day, man, everybody get their hair cut Friday and Saturday. But guess what? When I did a Super Tuesday, we made more money on a Super Tuesday because we gave them a discount and people started coming on other days. So we have to look at innovation, couponing, special, membership cards for a restaurant where they feel like it's a card on a card, card you a card carrying member of the soul food restaurant. So we can do some things to innovate any business, and sometimes you got to call your customers. Hey, what's wrong with calling them and say, hey, we miss you between cycles. You should know when the customers ain't coming, right? So call your customers.
Right, but Phil, what about small businesses like Shawana? Is it somewhere in the Chamber of Commerce where small business can register themselves, where they can be marketable?
Oh yes, when we joined the
We
chamber of
would
commerce,
absolutely.
when they joined the chamber of commerce, one of the things about us is unique is that I listen to every business in the chamber, right? And I try to help them. So most chambers they only cater to large corporations because they give like 10,000 membership, but the members we are about small business development. We know the businesses need, and particularly our community needs support. So they join the chamber. They even right now they're getting on the Zoom. They networking. They coming out. All type of trade possibilities coming. The businesses are growing. That's why you got to be in a network because the network is going to be if 100 people in the room say, hey, there's this soul food restaurant down here in Brooklyn, she can increase her business. Word of mouth acquisition strategies.
Absolutely.
So Shawana, so I know now you can do the outdoor seating. Have you found that to be helpful? The
It
outdoor
has been
seating?
helpful. The outdoor seating has absolutely been helpful. But I think one thing, and I guess I'll just address the elephant in the room. Everything that Mr. Andrews has said, it does sound well and good, but that is not the case in every situation. In reference to us having outdoor seating, we weren't even approved. It was a woman in our organization. She's the owner of what is it called? Shea Oscar. Her name is Charlotta Jensen. She started a petition to get us to have like a Bedford-Stuyvesant Restaurant Association, and she fought with Eric Adams to get Mayor De Blasio to get Bedford-Stuyvesant restaurants, especially to have permission to do outdoor seating, because apparently Bedford-Stuyvesant were part of some zoning issue that happened back in the 80s and no one ever rectified it. So we were behind the 8 ball in that respect. So our outdoor seating came a little bit after the fact. That's one thing. The other thing, and I'll be very honest, we basically took everything that we had, 401k, 403b savings, money from, whoever that would invest in us to put into this restaurant. We did not make a lot of good decisions in the beginning in regard to the space that we're renting. Unfortunately, our landlords were not that forthcoming with a lot of the violations and stuff like that were on the building. So we were behind the 8 ball from the beginning. And I know we're not the only business that this happened to. So unfortunately, we had to wind up pumping a lot of reserve capital into the business just to get us started. So we started in the red. So when this pandemic happened, and it's not like this pandemic is just something normal that a business would just have to endure. This is not normal, because this does not just affect our business. I don't know if you guys can hear my children screaming in the background. It's not like they have a school building to go to, that they're in bed getting ready for school. Everything has changed. Everybody's lives have changed. All of the dynamics have changed. So this is not just some run-of-the-mill small business issue. This is a livelihood situation. And I don't think it's going to be that easy to recover from, because it's really only by the grace of God that we're still open, because we don't even make enough money in a day. We don't even make enough money to cover rent, let alone, and the fact that products have doubled in price. A case of gloves is almost $90. We go through a case of gloves in less than a week. So this isn't something typical. This is not something that you could just prepare for. Like I said, we're a macro business. We're not like the Shake Shack who got millions of dollars in PPE that they did not need. PPP, sorry, the name of it. But these are businesses that the government handed them millions of dollars that they didn't need. Granted, some of them gave them back, but how many businesses did not? And then you have businesses like the Southern Comfort and other businesses in Bedford-Stuyvesant like Zaka, Mom and Pops. We are really, really praying and trying to figure out how are we going to open tomorrow. So this is something that we need help. We do need the support of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. Some of us can't afford to be members of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce to get the benefits that would really help us. We may not be able to afford it. Some of us can't afford to pay our internet bills, and we need internet, because then we can't get Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash. We won't be able to get that business. So this is serious. And a lot of our reserves, we just don't have anymore, because we've depleted everything that we have. So this is, I don't even know what to call this. I don't know a name to put on this situation.
Could I make a comment after that?
I used to work for the Yale New Haven Health System and Yale University. My husband used to sell furniture. We put all of that on the back burner to work on this business. This is what we have. And I'm only one story of a lot. All of us are trying to do what we have to do to make a better future for our children. But then stuff like this happens, and then we don't have the backing from the people that we need the backing from. Then what are we supposed to do?
Well, Shannon, one of the I was on a call last week, and one of the states, what they did was they developed a Black Resiliency Fund, and they raised $1 million to give to the businesses. Now, of course, the businesses had to have their paperwork. They had to have, some businesses didn't have their DBA. They can't, they had criteria. But one of the things that we need to do is we need to look at how we can raise capital for these businesses. And they're supposed to be sending me the model of what they did in another state. But we give to all type of things. We watch DVDs and we order movies. But if every one of us gave $1 in America, it's 30 million of us. That would be $30 million to a fund that can help the businesses that we've hurted the most in this country. So what we've been talking about is black equity. We need to. I mean, we are getting people coming on, corporations helping us. But my thing is that we need to help ourselves too. We should have a fund, and we should establish a fund where people give, and then we can have some criteria to help these businesses to survive during this crisis. That's what other groups did when they had the boycott years ago. When the Korean boycott, they kept those businesses open, right? So we need to look at things like that, how we can pool together our resources, and we got to come stronger to these businesses when this is over, because like she said, this is going to be a long time with the psychology of people not wanting to go out, right? We're dealing with a lot of different issues because people, hey, if they're not going outside, just that alone is going to impact business revenue. So I think we need to support her while we can. Whatever we could do, every dollar counts for a business when a customer comes in. So maybe even me, I would be willing to donate some time for a marketing campaign with no cost to you, and say, more people need to hear about your services. So you can contact me, and I will do that for you. Put you in the media, put news, no charge, right? So sometimes we got to help each other, and I learned that from Earl Graves, because when he first started his business, he had to get people to help him that had more influence than him. So we need to use our influence to help our businesses.
So Phil, how that? So I didn't hear that sound, but this ends the first part of our show, and we're gonna come back for the after show to finish any questions or comments that we might have or people may have. So we're gonna end part 1 here, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us, Tawana. We'll be back for the after show. So we'll see you next.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Hi, we're back for our after show, and joining us today was the Mr. Phil Andrews, president of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, and co-host Dr. Vanessa Danzy, and we have our co-owner business, Shawana McDonald, who owns Southern Comfort Restaurant in Brooklyn. And before, when we was talking on the last show, we was talking about how we can help. Phil, you was talking about how we could help the businesses now that's struggling. And so you was talking about, that you could offer some marketing, support. So Shawana, would that be something that could be helpful, to your business, coming in with the marketing support? And also too, I like the idea, Phil, that you said before about like having, we can't have a lot of people coming out now because of the pandemic, but maybe having something at her restaurant where we invite people to come, for that evening, and have dinner, now that they can be on the street and stuff like that. We might have to add some more chairs or whatever, we might do it more than just one day or one night or something like that. I think that might be something good also, because, I like to socialize anyway, I like to be out eating and socializing. So I like that idea too, of just, having people to come and have dinner or lunch or whatever, just to advertise, her business and everything. I think that's a good idea, Shawana. What do you think?
She's on mute.
Unmute yourself. We can't hear her. What is it?
She's on mute.
Who put her on mute?
Okay, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. We can hear you before.
This hoodie, Keenan Bell. He's a young black man. He's in his early 30s. He may just be 30 years old. He started a clothing line. We had like a little launch party for him at the shop before the pandemic. We had like black people meet up, like pop-up events at the shop, of course, before the pandemic. Not the first Saturday. Every Saturday from 6 to 10, we have DJ Barry Blends. He plays at the shop outside to bring people. It's like we're doing anything that we can to get people, to know about this. I'm sorry I had to do that for my kids. They're trying to come in here. Stop. So what we did was, something that would help. One thing that we noticed that people say when they come, they love the food. We have good customer service, but people don't know that we're here. Like everybody says, you guys have to do something so people know that you're here. We have our Facebook page. We have our Instagram page. We got little postcards. I do have to order more of those. So I'll tell the truth. I'm not good with marketing. I'm not good. I'm not even that good with social media. I had a young person tell me they love coming in, but our social media presence sucks. Who knew? I thought I was doing a good job with social media. But the main thing is we do need help. And it's not just me. Like I was saying, there's so many Bedford Stuyvesant restaurants. I give credit to all restaurants in Brooklyn, but I have to go for the home team. Bedford Stuyvesant, Mom and Pops, Zaka, Shay Ascar, she's really good with marketing. But those of us who are smaller, we do need marketing help. If people, I even have something going on. If you make a funny video or post a funny something with the video, eating our food, come back and get something free. I had one person do it. So we need help on the marketing front. Get out.
So Phil, when a new business opens, what's the best way of doing marketing for a new business to just come on board? They only been in existence for like a year, so really, you haven't had time to really build a clientele. It takes a while to build a clientele. I mean, unless you do have people that's word of mouth. Like I say, the best to me is word of mouth, because somebody go tell somebody else, somebody go tell. That, to me, that's a good way of public relations, is word of mouth. But what else would you suggest, like the Chamber of Commerce suggests for new businesses, to do as far as marketing that would really help them get a jump start in building their clientele?
Well, one of the things is that in opening 10 stores, we had like 6 to 9 months before we even put the key in that we marketed. Mm-hmm. That is the proper way to do it. But today, we probably can talk to more people digitally. You can do your social media assets, Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram coming soon. You can also, many of you know about Google My Business. You can also put your business up and start putting the assets up, the food, the menu, the hours. So today we have the ability to talk to more people in a quicker way. Currently at the Chamber of Commerce, using Google My Business, we currently were seeing 85,000 views of our work a quarter. Of course we get in the news more. We got the social media. We go on radio, national radio. So it's a lot of things that you could do today. You don't got to go on the radio station to go to the radio today, right? So evidently we on TV right now. So we got all of these assets that we are underutilizing. So I think we have more ability to also email people. I mean, how many of you, I heard the other day that more people look at email than is on Facebook. And I was like, wow, but we don't think of email as a marketing function. Right. But do you get your customers to opt into your email list? And I used to do that. I used to have raffles. Hey, you get it this Thanksgiving, you sign this raffle, give me your email, you can win this turkey, right? They used to give me their email or a bicycle. So we have to be creative about getting people to sign up, because once they sign up, if they sign up, they're telling you that, hey, you could sell to me. I'm very comfortable with you. I like you, know you, and trust you, and you could send me an email. Now, you get some people say, stop sending me those emails, right? Yeah. So, but we can use these. I think we're not fully using our assets. And then the other thing I used to do is I used to take all of my employees when I was in the barbershop business. They used to go on the street and market with me too. I had my suit on. I would tell the people, welcome to the haircut hut, introduce them to the business. Everybody's a part of the marketing team. The other thing that I don't know if we've had branding, right? Why do McDonald's wear uniforms? When they go out to empty the garbage, right? They branding. When they give you the bag in McDonald's, right? You walking down the street with McDonald's, telling somebody else about McDonald's. Are we fully marketing the business? Are your logos properly in your business, right? And if you're taking a bag on the subway, people are gonna see your bag with this soul food restaurant, right? So I think we could do a better job in how we're doing the business and marketing, and a lot of it come down to training. And I built 10 stores from nothing, and like you said, and they became number one in the marketplace, and that's the way I go in every market. So we can learn from the best, training, marketing. And one of the things at McDonald's, the reason why they make so much money is everybody knows what it looking like from 5 blocks away. And then they build everything where they don't have to do it over. They don't use paint every month. They put tile down where they got to do it once, right? So we got to look at the innovation and and then you can see into the business. Some businesses you can't see into it. That's why they take corner locations where you can see visible with the. They got the big sign where you can see driving down the block. So we need to look at those type of concepts, even though a small business may be small, but take the lessons that you can find from these multi-million-dollar businesses and do it to your business on another scale.
So
So,
Phil,
Anna, did you have a question? That's before I asked her.
yes. So does the Chamber of Commerce have these type of marketing classes that small businesses or those individuals who are looking to start a business can participate in and learn from?
Yes, we have constant training. We got access to capital, marketing, and if we try to also take a survey of what the businesses need, because sometimes we may be trying to give them something that they don't need. So if they join and they tell us, check off over here, this is what we need, that's what we're going to provide. We got all these skills, but we need to know, we need to go inside the mind of the business owner, right? And sometimes business owners could be their own worst problem too, right? Because selling doesn't happen in your mind where we think everything happens in our brain. It happens in the mind of the consumer. So we have to think the way the consumer thinks about our business.
So, Tawana, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight, really, and speaking honestly. And since you are speaking honestly, because that's what I believe in speaking as well. Anybody that knows me know I say what I say is what I believe. Tell us, what is it that you need that could help you now? I mean, with the pandemic going on, I know there's only so much can be done at this moment with this pandemic, because you're limited to people coming into the restaurant, sitting down, eating, but people can sit on the outside. So, what would you say that you need right now? I mean, besides money, we know you need money. But what assistance would you say you need that now that can help you try to get through this pandemic?
One thing, I apologize for being so close to the camera. Something is going on with the sound, so I really can't hear you guys. One thing that would be an absolute blessing, and I know that there was talks about it, and I hope it doesn't sound crazy. We could use someone to advocate rent vouchers. If we had a rent demand, our landlord has 3 different commercial properties, and all of us had rent demands posted all over our doors because that has been a struggle for us. If someone can get someone to get us rent vouchers, and not just the Southern Comfort, struggling macro businesses, we need rent vouchers. That would be a blessing. If it's 1 month, 2 months, anything like that, we would appreciate that. The other thing would be, from what I was able to hear in regards to the marketing, it does, like, even with like the McDonald's bags and stuff like that. That is all great. If we could get in touch with some sort of like someone who does printing and stuff like that, who would be willing to help out a macro business like ourselves, not necessarily for free because everybody has to make money, but if they could give us some sort of discounted rate on bags, Because one thing that we do, and it's kind of corny, but customers actually like it, when they order from the delivery services like Uber Eats or Grubhub, we actually write on the bags, "Thank you so much," and put their names on it with a smiley face. That is nice, so people don't know where the food is coming from unless they tag us when they take a picture. So, different types of marketing materials, that would be great. But, Miss Shannon, the main thing is that people need is we're running out of capital. That's the
You're
main
running
thing.
out of
We
what?
are running out of capital.
I didn't hear that.
So,
Could you repeat that? Because you running out of what? You was running
sorry,
out
can
of
you repeat
what?
that?
You said
We're
that you
running
was
out of
running out of
capital.
something. What was it?
Yeah, we're running out of capital.
Okay.
We're running out of working capital.
So Phil, because this is a pandemic and it's really hard to really work in this pandemic. So what do you think if a business did have to shut down, right? If a business did have to shut down because of this pandemic, but they could come back later, like maybe wait maybe 6 months and then come back to see how the pandemic is doing or if it's even better, and then come back with another strategy, another marketing plan, another strategy of how they would do business differently. Does that work for businesses? Is that a possibility that may work for businesses, or would that be a mistake to shut down and then come back?
It possibly could work because possibly they may have to preserve capital, and and right now one of the things that they're doing, the senators, I get all the calls from the politicians. They are trying to get legislation where they could have some help for the businesses and rent, where the landlord would have to, let them stay for a while. Because think about it, there's so many people employed by businesses, and all of these large companies are still closing. So where are the people going to work that was self-employed? So self-employed, actually, the number of self-employed people working for themselves in business outnumber the large corporations in America when you look at the numbers. So I think that's one of the things why they were saying it's critical to get the kids back to school so the small business owner could work, the business could work, and the consumer is a large component of that part too, that the consumers are now, putting themselves in self-quarantine because they're trying to protect themselves. They're going out less, right? So we have to do both things at the same time, try to preserve some of the businesses and also gradually get society back, because it's going to be a deeper and deeper recession if we don't go head on to open up the businesses in this country.
Mm-hmm. Because I know they had something on the news this morning about about the businesses getting rent reduced or not being able to, not having to pay rent for a couple of months. They did talk about this morning on the news that the mayor's office them is supposed to be putting something together so the landlords cannot be putting the business people out of their place or not having them paying rent for a couple of months. I know they had a discussion about that on the news this morning, but I guess, we'd have to check more to the mayor's office to find out.
GoFundMe is still an option. There was a business that was this was by the protest. It was burned down. I was a pharmacist that was in business about 20 or 30 years, and he raised enough money to open up his store, restore it, restock it. We should also consider GoFundMe campaigns. We have a lot of dollars. If you can make a good case to say I need some capital, this is my business, because some businesses just started brand new in a couple of months into this pandemic. They was online for 10 years and then opened a physical store and they had to close the store. So we need to find a way to raise capital. I think all of us in America, we live in a very rich country, and we got $10 to give some business, and it could begin to be a very substantial fund to help our business. I think we need to fund some of our causes.
Mm-hmm. I agree, because people are full of 95% consumers, and we need to support more of our own businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Would that be something, Tawana, that you think about?
I love the idea of the GoFundMe. My husband would not do anything like that, so I can't even present that to him.
Mhm.
I am praying that is true, that the mayor is helping in regards to rent for for small businesses. One of the other things that I have failed to mention, a lot of our revenue stream, we were food vendors for years. We were food vendors before we even considered opening up a brick and mortar. Because of the pandemic, we didn't have a festival season this year. Our festival season brings in six figures in a matter of months. And we were dependent on that because that sustains us. So that's another thing that crushed us.
Explain that. What is the festival you're talking about?
We do weekly festivals in New York. We do BAM Dance Africa. We do the International African Arts Fest, Montclair Jazz Festival, Capital Jazz. We travel. There are no festivals. Our festival season starts in April. There were no festivals. So that took away another revenue stream. And that's another thing in regards. I actually spoke to someone from the Small Business Administration because we were on these, I think it was like a bi-weekly town meeting that we had. And someone from the Small Business Association was saying, small businesses have to have more than one revenue stream. But a lot of the other revenue streams were impacted by the pandemic. It's not like we don't have them. It's just they were all crushed because of this. So we basically want an opportunity to stay open, to continue to service the Bedford-Stuyvesant community. One thing that did help was there was an organization, the name fails me right now, but they actually hired us to cater for hospitals once a week. And those were pretty decent catering jobs. And that basically helped us pay our utility bills and internet bills and buy product. So that was a blessing because in March and April, we really could count on our hands how many customers we had. But the interesting thing about it is, God bless him and God bless his family. Once everything happened with George Floyd, that's when we actually started getting an influx of customers because people wanted to make an active attempt to start supporting Black businesses. So it's like a crazy turn of events, but I don't know what we can do. Me personally, when I do have disposable income, I purposely go out and purposely buy Black. But we don't have any Black supermarkets. We don't have a lot of Black-owned pharmacies. So I think a lot of us just have to be more conscious in how we spend our money. The other thing of it is everybody does not like the Southern Comfort food because, as I said, it's not just a strict soul food restaurant. We have like a Carib fusion. People may not like our food. We have a particular, I season with thyme and cumin and rosemary. It's different. It's very different. So,
well, but people
stay open.
Regardless of what restaurant you go to, people don't like everything that the people sell there anyway. There's always some flavor in that restaurant that you like. We don't. I go to soul food restaurant, but I don't like everything that they be serving in there. But they always some dishes that I do like, and I love coming there getting those particular dishes. So that's what people would do. So if I like your codfish fritters and fried chicken or something, that's what I'm going to come there to buy. Every time I come there, most of the time when you come to the restaurant, you usually buy the same thing and you really like it. But sometimes you like the taste of the things on the menu to see if there's something else that you might like. So, you can't just say people don't like your food because there is something on the menu that people will like. It's just that, look, we all know that this. Look, we all know that this. If you don't know, you should know. This pandemic is not by no accident. This is not by no accident. This is happening. All of this is happening for a reason. And if we don't get it together, we're going to have another pandemic. It's going to hit soon because people are still not being responsible, and they're not taking this pandemic seriously like they should. And this is what we're afraid of. Like, it may get worse because I think it will get worse again before it gets better, So when I said before that if it did come that businesses had to really close down. You're not closing down, you're just shutting down for the time being until this pandemic kind of gets a little better. And then you come back, but when you come back, you'll come back stronger. I don't think that, and I can't speak for people because, see, I don't know how you feel. I can only speak for how I would be feeling or whatever. I would just kind of have to make that decision what I thought was best rather than, to keep spending money and money's not coming in. That if I did have to shut down, I would, and then I would just plan how I'm going to come back stronger or whatever, and then figure out a way how I'm going to get that capital to come back stronger. But I understand your feeling that you don't want to shut down. And then, we just got to figure out things that help you, that you didn't have to shut down. In other words, you just, you would stay open, keep it afloat, just to keep the restaurant going and things like that. Phil, how much is it to join the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, we start off with $100. Pretty much we tried to get the businesses in. We have different LLC, nonprofit, corporate. So we have different membership prices, but we wanted to make it reasonable so the business could say, you know what, I want to come. We want to get them in so we could help them. So one of the things I want to say too is I definitely got to make this point. The entrepreneurial mindset, that's the story of business, that a business person is a problem solver. They drive businesses. That's what makes business people different, that they can take the art of taking nothing and turning it into something. And there's still hope for entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship is still an important concept in America. And we will have the resiliency to bounce back from this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Phil. So when you say $100, is that monthly?
Annually.
Okay.
The annual fee. Okay. So when they join, then like the issues that they are talking about, like they have, then do you meet with them like one-on-one, and then you sit down and you go over what the problems they may be having to see where you need to reach out to, or what maybe company you need to reach out to, or what people you need to reach out to help them, or give them
right now we're doing virtual meetings. This week we have the New York Loan Fund. We have Empire State Development. We have large corporations that reached out to us that want to help the business. They joined with a large corporate membership, but now want to use their technical expertise to help our businesses. Because that's one of the things that we have too, is that a small business doesn't have all the resources. They don't have a human resource department. We bring in things like how to deal with employment laws, workers' compensation, paying taxes. CPAs come in annually to talk about how to, when the law changed, we brought CPA in to show them how the law changed. So that's the chamber's job, is to listen to the businesses. But the businesses, we can't help them if they're outside the chamber, because we wouldn't even know they exist.
So can the business bring their documents to you, like their profit and loss statements, for review?
But what we do is we have technical assistance. What we have is we have resource partners. One of the best things that they have in the state is the small business development centers, small business administrations, and they have what they call EAP centers. The state funds all of that technical assistance. So we don't try to be, why are we going to duplicate the state when your tax is already paying for money to help businesses? So, but we still, in absence of us being a Chamber of Commerce, we find that the resources do not come to our community. But if you go, hey, there's this chamber over here, everybody's calling us. Even law firms during this pandemic, they had special laws that they could work with the landlord, and the landlord had to work with you. But the businesses didn't know it. They reached out to us as a chamber, and we put those presentations on. So that's why the chamber is so important, because it's the eyes and the ears of the business owner. The business owner is doing it and doing it and doing it, and don't have time often to get outside their business. That's why this is good too. We was able to do things virtually for the first time, because the business they weren't about trying to pay that $2,500, $2,000. They can't get to that meeting all the time. But virtually, we were able to have more service as an organization.
But I know, Phil, you come out of Long Island. Are there any satellite offices that are within the other boroughs?
Well, we're regional. We the original definition in Long Island is Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, and Kings County. And when we did it, we defined the organization Long Island. The Long Island as it originally were, with Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island together.
Okay, great.
Well, I know you are in Brooklyn, and I know you're going to be doing more in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
coming to Brooklyn in a big way. I'm coming to
yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah, because I see that you're also dealing with some of the corporate people who now are going to be invested in small black businesses. A lot of the corporate people, particular people that we order from online,
Yes.
I guess I can say their name.
Yes, you can
Wish,
say the name.
Wish. I order from Wish. I see they're going to be doing business with black businesses, and also too. Now, are you in touch with some of those companies that with all of this Black Lives Matters going on now? Companies have been sending out emails and notices that they're going to invest in black businesses. So is this true, and is it happening? Because if it is, this is the time we all need to jump on the bandwagon that has a business to
Well, that's
get
true.
these companies, and let's see, are they going to do what they say they're going to do? Now, this is what they're saying, because I have received emails myself about them investing in black businesses. So,
Well, I think it's a unique time in America. I think more companies have reached out to us, and some have already delivered. But we have to be. One of the things is they wasn't going to deliver if we wasn't prepared as an organization. We were deeply prepared. They saw the work that we had, the footprint that we had, the influence. It's just like a business. If somebody go to help a business and they don't want to get the help, right? You can't get the help. So we just fortunate to be prepared that we had put so much out there that corporations are now coming to us, and you got to know how to handle corporations too. That's the other thing. You got to be able to show them everything real quick. This is what we do. This is the number of people we impact. We had everything documented. We didn't even go for the money first. We showed them the work that we're doing.
yeah,
Then they
because
come aboard.
I'm like Shawana. I want people to put their mouth where they say, when they say they can do this, they can do that. Then I want you to show me that you can do that, because talk is, the old saying is talk is cheap. So let's do action. Like, what is the action that we can help people that's struggling and need the help?
Well,
And
one of
uh-huh.
the things that we talked about at our last meeting is that we need to have innovation meetings. Sometimes a company need an advisory board. They may not be able to solve a problem themselves, but if they had some other ears and eyes, we could look at their problems and give them a fresh look at. Because sometimes you could be on too on top of the problem, right? So then you can't innovate. So we need innovation. Small companies need to innovate. We got all this intellect, all this brain power, different skills, but we don't bring the skills together. So we bring those skills together. That's one of the things came out our last call, is taking a business and bringing people with 10 different skill sets and mindsets and brainstorm and help that business innovate.
Okay, so what we want to do is we gonna do action now. We gonna start some action. We done talked about everything that they can do, everything the Commerce can do. Tawana has talked about what's going on with her restaurant, what help they need, to survive through this pandemic. So we want to go forward. We want to move forward in seeing how we can assist. So we know the first thing they have to do is join the Commerce, and that's the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to make that happen. And then we want to see afterwards how the Chamber of Commerce can assist Shawana in moving forward, to try to keep her restaurant open. Are you in on that, Phil?
Oh, I'm in. I get calls.
I get word tonight.
I get calls all the time, and
I have your word. I ain't talking about your other calls. I'm talking about you there with Shannon call. When I want to set this meeting up, we're gonna do social distancing. She's gonna become a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and we want to take it from there to see how we can help Shawani get through this pandemic. It may not be nothing huge or great, but I'm sure she'll appreciate any assistance that she can get. And I know Phil Andrews can make anything happen. I've known him for a long time, and I know he can make things happen. So I want you to give me your word tonight.
I'll give you my word, and I will commit to donating my services over a period of time for her to help her. Because like you said, that's my thing. What is it to give a little of your ability? right? That's what. Hey, your ability gonna go to waste if you're not gonna use it. Matter of fact, helping her makes me better because I get to use my ability.
Yeah. See the problem is, we have to make things happen. So our first step is to get her in the Chamber of Commerce, and that's not even going to be a problem. We're gonna pay the membership for her to get in there. That's not even a problem. But when we get in there, then we want to take it from there to see how we can assist her, and just even if it's just keeping afloat or whatever until this pandemic is over. To keep her restaurant alive. And if it did come to what I said before, that they may have to shut down for a while and then reopen bigger and better than what they were before, because I always believe that you have to do what you have to do. This is how I believe stuff. You have to do what you have to do sometimes. Sometimes you got to make tough decisions that you don't want to make or whatever, but it doesn't mean it's the end of anything. And like I said before, this pandemic is not by no coincidence. I'm gonna tell you what I believe it is. I think it's because God just got tired of you people acting up, not treating people nice, doing all this shooting and killing people, and you're not going to church, you don't believe in God. He's tired. So he shut us down. Because when did you ever know the whole world was shut down at the same time? Who ever heard of that before? I've never in this lifetime I've heard that the whole world was shut down. So this ain't by no coincidence. None of this is by coincidence. This is giving us a chance to get it together. And if you haven't reflected on your life since this have happened because you were shut up in the house, and I think those months that we were shut up gave us a time to reflect on our lives. Are we spending enough time with our family? Are we spending enough time with our husband? Are we talking? Because people don't talk to each other. That's why everybody's going crazy now, because they never talked to each other before. So now you were shut up in the house with each other. Now I got to talk to my husband. Well, who is he? That don't look like the husband I'm married or whatever. Are those my kids? I didn't know they were that bad or whatever, because you haven't been spending no time with your kids. You don't talk to your husband because everybody's what? On this phone. That's all they do is stay on the phone. Stay on the phone. Nobody wants to talk to each other anymore. You can't even have dinner together. Do you remember the times that we all used to sit down to the table and have dinner together and could talk to each other? Well, how was your day? Blah, 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 or whatever. Not anymore. You can't even talk to anyone anymore. That's why I stopped doing Thanksgiving, because when you invite people over, rather than us eating dinner together, everybody's on their phone. So why am I wasting my time in the hot kitchen for cooking if we're not going to talk to each other? This is what have happened to us. And we need to get back to being families and taking care of each other and reaching out to help the next person. And that doesn't happen either. We don't want to help the next person alone. Everybody's about themselves. Nobody wants to get up off no money or whatever. It don't take all of that. Like you said before, if people gave $1 a piece, look how much money you could raise. Somebody giving $1 a piece or $2 or whatever, But we don't even want to do stuff like that, I know you said, Shawana, your husband wouldn't want to do nothing like a GoFundMe or what. Look, people are doing it all over town. Let me tell you, they raises a lot of money in that GoFundMe, and I don't feel there's no shame in anything. That's how I feel about stuff. You are raising the money for a reason, but you don't have to even do the GoFundMe. It can be raised another way. You can do some other kind of type of event where people, donate money or whatever, if you don't want to go that route. There's plenty of other ways that you can do fundraisers and things like that. But I think you still have to be open to certain things. This is a time about survivor. This is surviving. This is how I look at it. This is surviving. You know what I'm saying? And whatever it is, you have to do what you have to do. I don't worry about what other people think. I don't worry about what other people say. I do what's going to save me. That's what I do. And that's how you have to look at stuff. You do what's going to save you and save your business or whatever. Because trust me, the other person that's saying something to you is jealous. Most people are jealous. And you have to be watching that too. You're a woman. You own your own business. And I don't have to tell you how jealous people can get when you work and get something of your own, when they don't want to work and get it themselves, but they figure you owe them something or whatever. So no, don't even feel that way. But look, we're going to see what we can do to help you. You heard Mr. Andrew say what we're going to do. We're going to get you in the Chamber of Commerce. You don't have to worry about that. And then from there, we're going to set up a social distancing meeting. where that way he can sit down and talk to you. And like he said, he'll take it from there and see what happens. Are you open to that?
Oh yeah. Well, I know she gotta be.
Are you open to that?
Yes.
I am. Yes.
Okay, then I didn't hear her say anything. Yes. Okay, she said yes. All right. Okay, so let's just take it from there tonight, and we're gonna pray on this thing because you gotta put God first before we do anything. Once you put Him first, the door is open.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna put Him first, and then the doors are gonna start opening because you can't do anything unless you put Him first. That's how you have to do that. So, look, I really appreciate you taking the time, coming from the restaurant and sharing a little bit of time with us to talk and everything. And Phil, as always, you the man. You the man. I love you, and you have done so much for people, and we appreciate what you do. And when you took over the Chamber of Commerce, everything changed for that Chamber of Commerce. They picked the right person to be the president of that organization because you really have done a lot of things for them. And I can't wait for the pandemic to be over, for you to be at the Lions Annual Dinner Dance next year if we're able to have it, because he's going to be honored at the Lions Dinner Dance next year. And hopefully, Shawana, you'll be able to come to our Lions Annual Dinner Dance. It's next year in October. October we have it. And but Vanessa, now that she's back across the ocean, she'll be able to come. She'll be able to come to the annual dinner dance. But look, I think my co-host is sleeping on me. Wake up, co-host. What kind of co-host is sleeping? Right. So let me just thank each one of you for coming on tonight and sharing this, and feel hopefully people have gotten something out listening to you and listening to Shawana, because like she may be going through some stuff. Other businesses are going through the same thing. So hopefully they can, learn something tonight from what you have said. And we'll have you on again. So this way you can give some more information to people that is in business, how they can, keep going and, reach out to get help, and Shawana, make sure that you're not like them other people that don't know how to treat the people that come in the restaurant, right? If I order food, don't have me sitting here waiting for my food, and then when I call, go tell me you're not gonna deliver my food because it's raining. Because let me tell you, that's why I can't support our people. I'm telling you, that's why I can't support our people, because I tell them all the time, that's why I can't support you, because you treat me. So why should I come in here and support you? They don't understand. When I come in there, if I like your restaurant, I will bring at least 10 people or 20 people. I will send them there. Because like I told you, word of mouth, anytime I find somewhere I like, I go and tell everybody, go here, let's go there, or whatever. So to me, word of mouth is the best way of public relations. You know what I'm saying? So thank you again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shawana. So thank everybody for listening to our after show. I hope you got something out of it, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
It's Shanna.